Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 552. I'm your host, GBD, here in Long Island, New York. As always, we're joined by a man who's got some brand new hardware. Wombat.
I've got all the hardwares.
The hardest wares.
The hardest wares.
What about your software? Is it really soft?
When you're like me, you don't have any softwares.
Everything is hard.
Everything is hard. Including the belly. Mostly the belly.
I've heard that's what most people call is a good hard belly.
Yep. That's what the ladies are looking for. Like, ooh, that's some hard belly you got there. I'm like, yeah, you know.
Well, like a dad bod would be a hard belly. Like, yeah. Pretty much. But it's not that hard.
Unfortunately, I look like I ate a few dad bods. So, dad bods, tasty.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be that kind of show.
Well, Shipwreck is back to save us from moments like these where Wombat starts talking about his belly. Thank you.
I went to Disney World.
How was it?
It was great. We had 7 days at Disney.
That's all. Wow, that's a lot.
For a while there, we were averaging meeting 12 characters a day.
Was it super crowded this time of year?
Yeah. Okay. But not like... It's big enough, and there's enough parks that it never feels like overwhelmingly crowded. Like you can still move, except for we were there for like the first day that Toy Story Land opened.
I saw that. Did you time that on purpose?
Yeah. I mean that's not like what we planned our trip around. No, but we timed up being at that park on that day on purpose.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you had 7 days is a long time. Was it all Disney or was there other parks?
Well, it was Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood.
Kingdom.
Yep.
Hollywood Kingdom.
Hollywood Kingdom.
I had to think about the names there for a second. I just now realized there was two different kingdoms.
Well, and what ride was the number one ride for Shipwreck?
Everest was pretty good.
It's a good ride in Animal Kingdom. I've been on it.
Yeah, it's good. The rides at Disney, like I grew up basically living inside Kings Island.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the rides at Disney are not the same thrill level, I would say. Like the theming level is much, much better than Kings Island. But just for like roller coaster wise,
no, they're a little tamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also liked the Frozen ride because it broke down halfway through and we had to get helped out of the boats and walk back through the ride.
Now, do they give you anything for your trouble when something like that happens?
Yes, which was great actually. They gave us a fast pass for anything in any park, basically.
Ooh.
So
we
were not going to be able to ride Snow White's mine car roller coaster, but that made it so we could.
That opened my last time I was at Disney. I've been on it once. It wasn't bad.
That's a fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
No, the kids had a great time. Gretchen planned the crap out of the trip.
Good.
So like every morning, just about we had breakfast reservations where characters would come around to our tables. So
man, I wish Shipwreck was my dad.
You did a character breakfast every morning?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of characters.
It was a lot of characters.
Did you eat dinner in the park?
We ate dinner one night in Cinderella's Castle.
Mm-hmm. I did the breakfast in Cinderella's Castle, but I'm sure it's a similar experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't cheap. It's not a Disney trip. It's not a cheap trip. I was
going to say, I know you got
it's not like crazy expensive. When we got back, it was like, oh, okay, we spent what we planned to.
Right.
I was going to say, what cost more, the Disney trip or the new car?
No, the new car cost more. That was a surprise when I was at Disney. I got a notification that my new car had arrived and was ready for me to pick up. So I got the new Subaru Ascent.
Oh, nice. That's what it is. Okay, because my wife kept asking me, what kind of car is that?
It's an Ascent. I told you, honey, it's an Ascent.
It's an Ascent. Now get out of my way, you harpy.
So I saw the moonroof. It's pretty impressive.
It's a big moonroof.
It's a big moon.
Yeah. No, it's the Scent is new this year, so it's basically a beefed up Outback with a third row of seats.
Ah, okay.
I like it. It's got that
Gotta have that. Yeah.
Apple CarPlay. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I don't know what that is. Is it
No.
like Apple Play?
Now, hold on. Is this a real Apple CarPlay or is it Subaru's custom implementation?
No, it's Apple CarPlay.
It's actual Apple CarPlay.
It's got all kinds, like, there's too many different services that you can use to play your music, basically. Like, Subaru has their own Starlink, is what it's called. The logo looks almost identical to that Ubisoft Toys to Life game that's coming out.
Yes.
And that's like their whole navigation package and roadside assistance and all that type of stuff. And then you also, like, it's got Sirius XM and I don't know, all the Spotifys and the Pandoras and all that stuff as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Now,
Yeah,
can you use Waze on your navigation if you don't use the CarPlay?
I don't use Waze, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. So I guess it doesn't matter then.
Apparently, Google Maps is coming to CarPlay.
That's exciting. Well, we right now the way we have it set up, so it's like it's such a weird hack in order to get Waze to work because that's what we're just used to and comfortable with. So
I'm
I didn't know if it
uncomfortable
was-
with Waze.
Huh? You're uncomfortable
Yes,
with Waze?
I'm decidedly uncomfortable. Whenever like we try to use it, I can't find like where the things are, and I freak out. And I say, "Put on Google Maps." I'm gonna get lost with Waze.
Interesting. I had to use Waze the other day because the road that I take home from my parents was closed. I'm like, how do you close a highway?
I guess Waze is better at that than Google Maps.
Yeah. So it was like, all right, the highway you want to take is close. You got to go this way. And it took us a really long time to go from my parents' house to my house. But
Any other highlights from Disney that we should know about, Chip?
yeah, anything you ate that was amazing? I like to know about Disney food is amazing.
It's all good. There was only one meal that we thought like wasn't great, but all the other stuff was good. We had at the Polynesian for breakfast one day with Lilo and Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's family style.
Ah.
And that was pretty amazing. Like all of the just stuff in a big bowl.
Stuff in
Had
a big bowl.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I had the dinner at the Polynesian without the characters. And
Was
that
there
was
a
also,
big bowl?
It was also family style, and they did teriyaki chicken wings that I still remember.
Oh, in a bowl?
So, in a big bowl.
See? This place is all about the bowls.
Yeah.
How was Colorado? Were there any bowls out there?
Rocky. Was it Rocky Mountain
There were
High?
bowls. There were bowls and bowls. It was a pretty interesting trip. Mrs. TB does such a good job planning these little vacations that we go on.
How many character breakfasts?
No character breakfast. One breakfast where we overlooked the Garden of the Gods. Does that count? And there were bunnies and a bobcat. Like,
Did
close
you
by.
get them to sign an autograph and take a picture with them?
No, they just hung out. I took a picture of them, but no selfies. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So I knew that there's like this whole altitude thing, but
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it, right? And like,
Are you familiar with altitude, Shipwreck? I know you work with helicopters, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept of altitude.
I'm talking about when a person who lives 30 feet above sea level goes to a place that's 6,000 to 12,000 feet above sea level. What happens to that person?
They start talking about sea levels.
They talk exactly.
They never talk about sea levels unless this happens.
Let's put it this way. At one point I Googled why am I so thirsty, and Google auto completed in Denver. The reason is because you're at that altitude. In case you're wondering.
I figured that's where you were going with
yeah,
this.
so
you started with the punchline.
Yes. So Mrs. GB plans
To
these
get to
trips.
the other side, have you heard about this chicken?
Mrs. GB plans these trips so well that I don't really do any research into them. I just show up, sort of. It's like Shipwreck and E3. He plans everything so well, just tells me where to go, and everybody has a good time. So I didn't really do any research on it, and we're in Denver, and we're at the awesome Denver Art Museum, and I'm very tired all of a sudden. I don't realize why, because I haven't done anything. It was just a quick flight over, and just not really walking that far. It's very hot outside, but we're indoors and it's air conditioned. By the way, when you're closer, like a mile or two closer to the sun, it's you feel that in the heat. So yeah, I even like my Apple Watch, how it tells you how many exercise minutes you get based on your heart rate. I was getting those exercise minutes basically doing nothing, just walking 10 minutes. It was pretty weird. And I was constantly thirsty, like nonstop, just drinking water. It was a little uncomfortable, actually. I don't know if it would have been better if I was more prepared or less prepared.
So
how would you have prepared?
Did you the trip? Was it worth going?
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. So we spent one night in Denver, which is like a very hot city in the summer and dusty.
Orlando as well. It's pretty hot.
But humid, though.
Orlando is pretty humid.
Yeah, so humid. And so you're not like constantly looking for water at all times.
I was doing that as well, but yeah.
So it just, once you get used to, you can't get used to the altitude and the heat in a few days. It takes weeks. But besides that, there's like a lot of amazing things to look at. You can't really we weren't going to go hiking or anything because it was so incredibly hot and get tired in 2 seconds. But we did a little bit of like nature exploring. We rented a convertible and we did this nighttime drive through the Garden of the Gods, which was pretty amazing. Garden of the Gods is like these stone formations. So that part was pretty cool. And what else did we do? We went to Aspen for 2 nights.
Did you go skiing in
Yes.
July? July skiing?
We actually saw a guy on like roller skis, and he was going down the street. And, it was like a mountain, not a street mountain.
I understand.
And we drove. At some point, we're driving. We rented a car and drove from location to location. You have to do this super high and narrow road where the road's like 12,000 feet up. There's no guardrails at many parts of the drive, and you're literally 10,000 feet up or so. You go over, it's over. Like that car is not hitting the bottom for a while, and it's pretty scary. Like Mrs. Chiefy was very scared, and I was trying to ask her to take pictures because it's like. It's actually, the first Forza Horizon game took place in Colorado, or maybe a fictional version. No, I guess it was Colorado. I'm sure they didn't model every road, but whatever. You can see why. Like the roads are winding, and you can see them stretch off into the distance. So I'm trying to get Mrs. Chibi to take pictures, and she can't even look out the window. Because when you look out the window and you just look down, it's just, all you see is, wow, this car could just go off any time, and I'm not controlling it. So we didn't get any pictures of that. But it is pretty incredible. So I would recommend, Colorado. 7.5, I would say.
Cool.
Great. Go back to Apple CarPlay for a second.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Does your Apple CarPlay show?
He doesn't have Apple CarPlay. He has the Ford custom.
No,
version.
I have Apple CarPlay also. It has both.
It has both.
It has Sync 3 and Apple CarPlay.
Okay, got it.
So
Sorry.
the Apple CarPlay, does yours do it wirelessly or USB?
USB.
Yeah, mine has to do it USB as well. I guess there's only some cars that do it wirelessly.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it does work wirelessly. Again, it's not my car, so I don't know. I've only used it wired, so I'm going to say it's only wired because I don't
probably
know the answer.
Is that a big deal that you have to plug a cable in?
Nope, not for me.
Yeah,
it was a little bit disappointing, I would say.
Oh,
because I'm Like I can play music through Bluetooth and whatever as well.
Dude,
But
it's a Subaru. You're getting a good value. It has a lot of good tech in it. My dad has one. I know that they're good that way. So you're not going to get everything.
no, not everything. But I hope they update it to where there's album artwork when you're using Apple CarPlay.
Oh, you don't even get that? That they must have. Wombat, do they have that on yours?
What?
Album artwork?
It does, but it doesn't.
It's like in the background, grayed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. That's not what I want.
Same here. Okay, so yours is the same as mine. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. And it's funny because when I play, like I'll do, because I use the Spotify and I like to listen to, like I'll plug it in and do the daily mix. And my kids use it enough where there's pretty much a mix for everybody. And we try to figure out what it's going to be because sometimes before it loads up and it's like a game because it's grayed out and a little blurry.
Oh, maybe you have it in game mode. Did you think about that?
I have
it
no
probably
idea.
defaults to game mode. That's what I'm thinking.
Especially with my son's playlist is all show tunes and random show tunes. It doesn't always say the name of the show, so you have to kind of figure it out.
Like Broadway show tunes?
Yeah, he likes his show tunes.
Like what shows?
He likes. You know what he really likes? He really likes the SpongeBob.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. No, he likes SpongeBob. He really likes Aladdin. He really likes Seussical.
No, these make more sense than what I was thinking. I was thinking like Cats
it's not,
and Phantom of the Opera.
No, it's not Rodgers and Hammerstein, and it's not Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's more, yeah.
The Boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. He's not listening to. I guess he would. He probably would listen to Hamilton. I guess if we put it on, but that's not what he's listening to. It's usually Seussical, SpongeBob. Or right now, Aladdin, he's listening to a lot because that's just on in the house a lot. Because that's what Sabrina's doing for her musical right now for theater camp. Theater camp.
Nice.
Which I think we talked about that last week.
Yes,
I don't
we did.
remember. Yes.
I'm excited. I can't wait to hear about the show.
Yes, I will have lots of pictures, I'm sure.